dollmaker named Samuel Mullins and his wife Esther grieve for the loss of their 7-year-old daughter Annabelle, nicknamed B, who dies when she accidentally steps in front of a car. 12 years later, the Mullins open their home to provide shelter for Sister Charlotte and 6 girls left homeless by the closing of their orphanage. Despite having been warned to avoid B's locked bedroom, Janice, a young orphan disabled by polio, discovers a note saying, "Find me," and sneaks into the room, which has mysteriously become unlocked. She finds a key for B's closet and opens it, where she sees an eerie porcelain doll. This unwittingly releases a powerful demon that begins to terrorize the girls. One night, the demon, taking B's form, appears to Janice, saying that it wants her soul. Although she attempts to get away using a stairlift, the demon recalls the stairlift and hurls her violently down to the ground floor, leaving her severely injured and confined to a wheelchair. With Janice now confined to the first floor, her best friend Linda is now having to sleep alone and is tormented by the demon. One morning, the demon, posing as Sister Charlotte, wheels Janice into the old barn where, in the form of B, it attacks and possesses her after throwing up black bile directly into Janice's mouth. Linda notices changes in Janice's behavior and tells Samuel that Janice snuck into B's room and found the doll. Samuel immediately believes Linda and heads inside, where he comes across Janice, who can now walk. Janice transforms into the demon and brutally kills Samuel, who follows her while holding a crucifix, forcing him to drop it after moving his fingers backwards one by one. Outside, Sister Charlotte hears his screams and is horrified to find him dead on the floor. That evening, Linda takes Janice's doll and throws it into the well. A strange noise comes from the well and she is almost dragged into it, but Sister Charlotte saves her. Charlotte speaks with the disfigured Esther, who is confined to her bedroom. Esther reveals that after B's death, they prayed to whatever entity would grant their wish to see their daughter again. An unknown entity answered their prayer, and though they briefly saw B's spirit, the entity convinced them to transfer its essence into one of Samuel's crafted dolls. They happily agreed, but soon realized they had attracted a demon looking for a human host. One night, Esther saw B's spirit transforming into the demon, which then gouged out her eye and resulted in her wearing a half-doll-like mask to conceal her injury and the scars. Enlisting the help of priests to bless the house, they locked the doll in B's closet. Esther and Samuel opened their house as a shelter for orphan children to repent for their actions, but Esther now regrets it, since this has provided an opportunity for the demon to look for a human host. The demon then murders Esther and attacks Sister Charlotte. While some of the orphans are able to leave the house, Linda is trapped and hides in B's room as the possessed Janice tries to stab her. Sister Charlotte locks Janice and the doll inside the closet. The next day, police arrive to search the house and find only the doll, which they remove as evidence, but not before a priest blesses the home. Sister Charlotte, Linda, and the orphans are escorted away by officers to find another new home for the orphans, while Janice escapes through a hole in the closet wall and relocates to an orphanage in Santa Monica. Still possessed, she becomes reclusive and calls herself Annabelle. Pete and Sharon Higgins soon adopt Annabelle. 12 years later, after being involved in devil worship, a grown-up Annabelle returns home and murders her adoptive parents, awakening Mia, who warns John about Sharon Higgins' screams.